Where you been?
Checking a few things out.
Like what?
I'm going after that gold, Joe.
That's what I'm doing. You want in? I want in. Now, you let me tell you something, soldier. Let me make it nice and clear for you. I got a job to do, and that's to get you guys to Berlin without getting killed. If you whisper one word about the gold to these guys, I'm gonna have you bounce from this outfit so fast your feet won't even touch the ground. Now, do you understand that, Kelly?
Yeah, I understand. You better fix up some transfer papers for me, because I'm going. With you or without you.
Okay.
Hi guys, this is Bill from Spencer1984.com, and today we're taking a look at the 24th scale Willys Jeep Quarter Ton by Italeri. This is one of two of these kits that I've got. The other one is partially complete as the Kelly's Heroes Jeep, but before I got to that one, I wanted to take a look and show you all what comes in this kit. So, break open the box here, and the first thing we've got is the decal sheet for all of the different marking options. We've got a reference guide which has some historic photos as well as a history of the Jeep, and then some reference photos of a late restoration, including some really nice close-up detail shots. And then last, it's got full color markings for all of the options that come in this kit. And that's a really nice touch. It's nice that they could include that. I can see it being cost prohibitive, but it would be nice for other kits to include that as well. We've got instruction sheet, which is pretty basic, standard exploded diagrams with part number callouts. Generally pretty easy to follow. It's got the individual views for all of the different markings. And so that's that. And on to parts. First up, we've got the clear parts, which include the windshields, headlights, rear window, and some parts that actually aren't going to be used in this kit. I believe these came with the fire release. I'm not 100% certain on that though, but the one item does appear to be an emergency beacon, so that'd be my guess. And the rest of the kit comes on two major sprue pieces. Unlike most Jeep kits, you see this actually comes as a series of flats that have to be put together. And for the most part, everything goes together nicely. The biggest fit problem I had was there's not really a positive locator for these sections. So once you have them glued to the body, they don't necessarily line up exactly with the chassis once you drop that on. So for any future builds of this, and what I recommend is leave these loose, if not leave these whole pieces off until you've got the floor glued to the chassis, and then locate them, because that makes things a little bit easier once it's time to put the grille on. But at any rate, so start with the floor plan, and you can see it's got a little bit of the floor bracing showing through, and it's got the copyright information that would need to be sanded off, and some ejector pin marks. Not too bad. The ejector pin marks are probably this kit's single weakest point, and we'll see more of those later on. We've got the windshield, and it is actually hinged. It's got two little tabs here that slot into holes on the cowl, and it's actually got details for where to mount the windshield wiper mechanism, which that's a really nice little feature that they included. got the hood and the cowl, the two main sides, which they do have some nice detail. You know, they've got the reflectors, they've got the hard mounts for the grab handles, they've got the fender braces, and generally the casting on this kit is very nicely done. We've got a jerry can there, we've got the blackout light, trailer hitch, the cranks for the windshield wipers, the hood and windshield tie downs, the cap for the jerry can, the shield for the blackout light, the handles to mount to the side of it, and up here we've got the dashboard, and that's got the gauges and controls all cast in. Some nice fine detailing there. You got the rear bumper, the grille, spare tire carrier, the handle for the jerry can, which does not fit at all. This handle is actually much wider than the can, so I ended up getting rid of it and making my own. The wipers, the front bumper, the tailgate, the fuel tank, 4 shock absorbers, the antenna mount and the antenna, the spare tire, as well as the 2 fronts, 2 rears, the spare tire carrier, rear fender filler panels, the front fenders, and on the front fenders they actually have outlines for where the lights are supposed to be mounted, which again, that's a nice little touch that they added there. If you don't want to include it, it's very easy to sand them off. And here we've got the irons for the top and the down position, which that's the third part of that. And for the up position, you've got these 2 V's, the back and the main part of the roof. The other sprue has all the mechanical stuff. It's got the 4 tires separated into inner and outer halves, and they actually fit together better than I was expecting. I painted the wheels, painted the tires, then clamped the tires over the wheels, sanded off the seam, and they look just fine. We'll get into that in the next video when I post the Kelly's Heroes Jeep. We've got the inner wheels. They're kind of scattered a little bit across everything. The 2 frame rails, the battery, the engine front cover, top, the radiator with the headlights, the front steering, passenger and driver seats, rear seat, exhaust pipe, upper radiator hose, muffler, front and rear axles. The suspension is actually made up of all these tiny components, and once again, it goes together better than I expected it to. Now, that many pieces, I was not expecting anything to really sit together tightly. I was expecting a lot of fiddly work, but that was not the case. They did nice work on that. You got the shift and other control levers, fan, rear view mirror, air intake, some engine detailing, steering column, the axe and the shovel for the side of it. Here's the main part of the engine with the transfer case, the intake and exhaust, steering wheel, the main drive shafts, the cross members for the chassis, fan belt, the hitch mount, and the pedals. And so that's it. It's a pretty basic kit, as far as not having 100 million pieces. But what they do include is detailed enough and intricate enough that you get a nice looking kit without a whole lot of work. I built the Kelly's Heroes Jeep as a vacation model. It was something that I was able to bring along with me with minimal tools. I didn't have to bring paints at all. Didn't have to bring a whole lot of scratch building tools or anything like that. And most of it I was able to put together in a single afternoon. And we'll take a closer look at that, along with the few modifications I made in the next video. So be sure to stop in, take a look at that. Thanks for watching.